Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Amy here. We're in a little bit of a different setting. I'm in my office, but was actually like my old filming room. I used to have all my books in here. Plus it was my office, and I used to film from here for years until I made my little library. But anyway, we have a different setting because I'm gonna be doing my nails today, and that's my new thing, my new obsession. It's nails, taking care of my nails, doing my nails, finding the right products for my nails, what polishes work best on my nails, that sort of thing. I get in these sort of obsessive moods, I guess, about different things, whether it's hair, skin, makeup, now apparently nails. But anyway, here we are. So today I thought we would maybe talk about a few books that I have already finished for the month of June while I paint my nails in a rainbow of color to celebrate Pride. I'm wearing my Love is Beautiful shirt today. So yeah, I'm super excited. I've actually worn these polishes already and I just took them off. They lasted a whole week, and I'll tell y'all how I made them last. And this is a new brand that I discovered on Sephora. I've actually been watching a lot of nail videos. So I discovered this brand through that and then went search for them, saw it on Sephora, and they had the perfect rainbow little package for Pride Month nails. So I bought it. I've already wore them for a week, absolutely love them. So we're gonna be repainting my nails again, and I'll probably switch to my phone, which will be recording me doing my nails, because I can't multitask. So we'll flop from doing nails to talking about books while the nail polish kind of dries between coats, I guess I should say. Anyway, let's get started. So these are the colors that I'll be using today, and this is from the brand Nails Inc. So we have a neon sort of pink color that's called Coral Street, and then we have this neon yellow called Rising Sun Court. This neon orange is Little Somerset Street, and this is more a coral. This is more of our hot pink, purple, not sure what you would call it, but it says it's called Summerland Gardens. And then just a white polish that is called Free Time is Me Time. So as I said, we're going to be talking about some of the first books that I started off the month with. I'm just going to use a little bit of nail polish remover to get all the oil and, you know, any oil or anything that would be on my nail, and kind of let that dry a little bit before we get started. So I started the month off with The Long Game by Rachel Reed. This is the 6th book in the Game Changer series. Loved our final story with Ilya and Shane. Although I will say I was a little aggravated with Shane throughout the book, just because I felt like he was being hard-headed. Ilya wanted more. He wanted to be out there. He wanted to express his love for Shane, but Shane was, you know, sort of held back in this story. He just wasn't sure how that would affect his career, and I sort of just wanted to slap him around a little bit and be like, dude, love is so much better than hockey. I mean, I don't know. I mean, in my mind it is. But anyway, I enjoyed being back with Shane and Ilya, and it was definitely a different side of the two guys that we got to see in this 6th book and their final story. We saw a more sweet and adorable side of Ilya, and a little bit more of a standoffish side of Shane. I knew in my heart that he loved Ilya, but he wasn't putting it out there, expressing it to Ilya, and Ilya was actually sort of feeling a little down about it through this book. So it was definitely a different side of both of our characters. I loved it. Even though I wanted to slap Shane around a couple times, I loved Ilya and Shane and the remainder of their story. So 5 stars, of course. Okay, so the polish that I have been putting on my nails lately, like as my base coat, I've actually been using this as well as a on its own as well. It's actually sort of a damage repair sort of nail polish. This is from Ella and Mila Nail Care. You can find this at, I'm sorry, not Sephora, Ulta, CVS, those sorts of stores. It's a little bit more on the more expensive side of nail polishes, but it's very well worth the price in my opinion. So this is actually called Damage Control. So I started using this just by itself, just applying a coat every day for like 7 days. It's what I think, it explains to you on the box that it comes in what to do with it. And I just found that my nails just strengthened up a lot, and it just sort of helped them look a lot healthier. My nails are so hard to, they're not hard, they're soft is the problem. They're soft and they just kind of peel. I've never had like great nails to work with. If I was to do dip or gel nails, it always affected my natural nail, and I also always had to go through like this little period of getting my nails back on track. So this I find that has helped a lot with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put one layer on my fingernails before we talk about the next book. Okay, while those dry a little bit, the next little series I guess I jumped into was the Fence series by C.S. Packett. So of course volume 1, volume 2, and volume 3. I still have not gotten volume 4. Like, what is wrong with me? Who am I? I need to go get it. I need it in my life. As well as I picked up the novel Fence Striking Distance. This is actually by Sarah Reese Brennan, based on the graphic novels by C.S. Packett. This was such a fun little series to get into. I immediately fell in love with our characters. Here we have, oh, let me think. This is CG, or is it Seiji? It's Seiji is how you spell his name. But he is on the cover of Fence. But really, this first volume, we get to know Nicholas. This is Nicholas right here. This is Seiji. I think it's Seiji. So they are sort of rivals. Nicholas actually comes from, he hasn't had the training that these guys have. As I walk you through the team, Nicholas kind of came from more on the poorer side of things. He grew up without a father, basically without a mother as well. She's just working, trying to put food on the table, also like, I guess, dating and things like that. Nicholas is kind of on his own, and he found someone to help coach him in fencing because it's something that he really loved, and he also found out who his real father was, who also influenced him to get into fence. So in the first volume, we get to know a little bit more about Nicholas, and then when we jump in volume 2, we get a little bit more of the team and Seiji and the relationships between our guys, as well as in volume 3. So basically the 3 volumes are just getting to know the team, getting to know the characters as they basically try out for the fencing team at King's Row School. Nicholas ended up getting a scholarship to go to this school, so if he doesn't make the team, that means he does not have a scholarship to go to school and practice his fencing. So he's doing his best to try to get into this school, and I loved reading about how these guys just come together and just help each other out. So on the cover of this one, you see this blonde-haired character here. This is actually, I forget his name because he's seldom mentioned, but he's actually Nicholas's, I guess, stepbrother, because of course his dad married, had a family, and that's his son. His dad's name is Robert Cost, I believe, is his dad's name. He was a very famous fencer in his day, and of course, so his son is a very famous, and well, not famous, but you know, he's getting there, and he's getting the best coaching from his father, of course. So we have that little connection there, and then we get more in the novel. I really enjoyed this, really getting to know the team better. On the cover here, of course, we have Seji and Nicholas, and then this is Harvard, who is the team captain, and this is, oh, what is his name? Oh my goodness, because he's a character in the graphic novels that I was just like, okay, I don't think I like this dude. But as you get to know him more in this book, okay, his name is Aiden. Aiden is here. He's a player. He is actually our only character that's really like an out gay character. I really don't even know yet what the sexuality of Nicholas, Seji. I'm really not sure what their sexuality is. I want them to be into each other, but we haven't really gotten to that point yet. There is a second book in this series, so maybe we'll get there in that book. But Aiden is definitely a player, but he secretly loves Harvard. Harvard is sort of discovering himself in this book and who he's attracted to. So yeah, so we get a little love story there. We get more of a connection with Nicholas and Seji. Seji is such a humorous and fun character. I really adored him in this series, and I can't wait to read more about him. I really need to go get the 4th graphic novel, and I believe the 5th graphic novel comes out in August. But he is definitely, I giggled at his, just the way he presents himself and the way he talks and the way he thinks. And Nicholas kind of just takes him as, you know, with a grain of salt, and is just like, okay, buddy, you know, come on, I'll show you the ropes kind of thing. Loved it. All 5 stars. I forgot to hold up the book. I had the long game. I was not thinking I had the book in my possession, but I do. But I had tabbed a little part of the book that I wanted to share with y'all. So this is a part of the book where Shane is out with his best friend, who he actually used to date. It's a girl, an actor, and this is what she tells him, and I'm like, yes, this is what everyone needs to know. No matter who you are, who you love, do what makes you happy. Live how you want. Love who you want. People will judge you, hate you, criticize you, but plenty more will support you and love you. And in the end, no one matters except the people you care about. Your parents support you, your best friends support you. Those are the only people you should worry about. And I just felt like that was just so true, and I just wanted to read it to y'all. Like I said, that goes for anyone, everyone, no matter who you are. Do what makes you happy. Love who you want. It's all about you, not everybody else. Okay, so these next 2 books I tried to pick up. I tried to listen to one and I tried to read the other, but I just wasn't into it. And like I had said in my like un-TBR video, I wanted to read what I wanted to read, what I was in the mood for, whatever it may be in the male romance category. So I picked up Cat Sebastian's It Takes Two to Tumble. I started listening to this. It was available on Scribd. It might have been available in my library. I don't remember. But anyway, I did not like the narrator. And it is a narrator that I've listened to before, and I've gotten through the books that this narrator narrated, but I just don't like his voice. I really don't. And I couldn't get into the characters. Like, I couldn't feel for them. I didn't have a good vibe of who they were and who they were to each other. Like I found I was just wandering, my mind was wandering, and I wasn't paying attention to what was happening between the couple, and all of a sudden they're together, and I'm like, wait, when did this happen? Because I really did not like the narration. So I do want to pick this up. I got to like page 100, exactly at 100 pages in with the audio, and I had to stop because I was like, I'm not into this. I'm really not into this narrator's voice at all. And I know I can get into the story because I've read Cat Sebastian before, and I really enjoyed the story, even though it's more on the historical romance side of things. I'm not a historical type of reader, but I really enjoyed the way she told the story. So I do want to try this at a later time. I just didn't want to waste my month of male romances with something that I wasn't into. But I do want to pick it up and just read it with my eyeballs, just not right now. I also, which I'm kind of sad to say, don't come for me, because I've only got to one story, and I know many of you said that, you know, your favorite stories are of course are Laurent and Damon, which is called The Summer Palace. So this is just a very short little anthology of stories from the characters from our Captive Prince series, and the first story happens to be between I believe the captain who's leading Laurent's army and one of the men in the army is called Green, but for a season. And I just really didn't care. I really didn't care about these characters in the main book, and I just didn't care about their little story here at all, because I know who they become later on in the book. So once again, I know I probably should just read The Summer Palace and move on to the other stories whenever I'm feeling the other stories. So yeah, so as for now, just gonna put this aside and maybe jump into it at another time. So that's the outcome of these two books. Okay, let's put another coat on these nails. Okay, I completely messed up my yellow finger. I kept hitting it on this finger. So I just took it off and we're redoing it. So I put some damage control as my base coat on, and we're just gonna redo it. So while all of this is drying, they do kind of dry into a semi-matte sort of finish. I want to say they're called like a jelly type of nail consistency. They're not like a cream or anything. They're more on the jellyish side of nail polishes. Does that make sense? I learned that from watching nail videos. But anyway, I could probably do 3 coats of these, because some of them, especially like the yellow and the white, you can definitely kind of, if you look really closely, especially under these lights, you can see a little bit of my nail bed that's visible through the color. But we're just gonna go with 2 coats. Okay, so while these are drying and before I redo this finger here, we'll talk about they both die at the end. Okay, so I have some mixed feelings on this book. I leaned it more towards a 4-star than a 3-star. I gave it more like a 3.75 star, just because I really loved our characters. I really got into them. Excuse me, and their story and who they were. And you know, my biggest thing was, are they really gonna die at the end? Like, does the title say it all? Like, I was so curious. So we have Rufus and Mateo, and they both get the phone call. So in this world, in this universe of this story here, we have what's called the death call. Someone calls you on the day that you're going to die, and just tells you that this is you're going to die today. So, you know, live out your fullest life while you can on your last day, basically. So Mateo and Rufus both get a phone call. Totally different guys, living in the same area, but completely different personalities. They don't know each other. There is this app called the Last Friend app that they both decide to put themselves out there, see if they can find their last friend. Mateo has lost his mother she died during childbirth when he was born. He was raised by his father, but then his father had an accident and his father is in some sort of coma. So Mateo is by himself, basically. He's feeling lonely. He gets this call. He does have a best friend, but he doesn't know how to live his life. Should he stay indoors and just wait for whatever his fate is going to be, or should he go out there and live? That's when he decides to load up the Last Friend app. Also, Mateo hasn't really discussed his sexuality. We learn later on in the book what his sexuality is. And then we have Rufus, who is a bisexual character. He is growing up in a foster home, so he has like his group of friends. They call themselves, oh, what do they call themselves? I forget. I can't find what they call themselves, but it's a group of guys and they call themselves something, and they've been friends, you know, throughout their foster care. Well, on the day that Rufus gets his call, he is actually in the process of beating someone up, his ex-girlfriend's current boyfriend. So Rufus, you know, just not having the best day already, decides to unlatch himself from his friends and live out his day with a last friend. So he also uploads the last friend app. Now we get other characters in here. We get like what's going on with them. Is today their death call or not? And how they are connected to Rufus and Mateo. I think there's actually a little map in here somewhere at the end of the book that actually maps out where all these characters are linked to. So I just thought it was very interesting. I will say I got a little bored at some part in the middle, but I was also very anxious. Like, it was sort of stressing me out, like waiting to see what was going to happen. Were they going to die? How were they going to die? Because they discuss like other people that have died on their death day in like just tragic ways, and I just can't fathom like living out my day knowing I'm going to die that day, but how am I going to die? Like, I no. So of course a lot of people have killed themselves because of the anxiety and the stress they feel about their death day and how they're going to die. It's very stressful. But anyway, I didn't know how I was feeling by the time I got to the end of the book and how things played out. I really didn't know how I felt. I don't want to give you my feelings because I feel like they will give away the ending, but I read the author's note at the end and I kind of got a little bit better of a perspective of the book and where the author was going with it. Basically, you know, live every day to the fullest, because you never know when your last day is going to be. Love the ones you love. Live a happy life, you know, that sort of thing. That's the message that we're trying to get across in this book. But yeah, I also felt like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I felt like the way these people died on their death day was just because it, you know, it could have been, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm struggling here. I felt like they, you know, they could have been saved. This could have not happened. Like, there's a scene in here that I'm thinking, what are you doing? Just don't let yourself die, you know, kind of thing, of other characters. But anyway, long story short, I enjoyed it. Like I said, I didn't quite give it a 4-star because just because I really did kind of get a little bored in between there. Wasn't sure where the story was going to go. I had anxiety. I was stressed about if they were going to die and how they were going to die. But it was a really good story. Like I said, after I read the author's note, I really felt like I got it, kind of situation. So yeah, that's my thoughts on They Die at the End. This is by Adam Silvera. Let me know in the comments. Have you read this? What are your thoughts? All right, let's go in and repaint this little finger here. I also feel like these lighter jelly shades, like this yellow here and like this white, the first coat is very streaky. So yeah, it could definitely use probably 3 coats. But yet the second coat on this finger looks pretty good. This is the first coat. It's kind of streaky on this one. But anyway, moving on. My next book I picked up was The Infinite Noise by Lauren Shippen. This was also kind of in between a 3 and a 4-star. Not quite a 4-star for me. Maybe more of a 3.5 star. Because once again, I just kind of got bored, I guess. But it was a very cute story. I really enjoyed our characters. I connected with them. I fell in love with them. So we have Caleb and Adam in this story. Caleb is he's an empath. He feels what people are feeling, and before he realizes what is happening to him, or he calls it his superpower, before he realizes his superpower, he doesn't understand these feelings that he's feeling. Like, he doesn't understand sometimes why he's angry or why he's sad, and he brings these emotions out and lashes out at other people, sometimes blacking out and not remembering like how he got there and why he was feeling this way, sort of thing. So yeah, Caleb is a football player at his high school, and our story begins with him getting in a fight over these feelings, and him himself being angry with someone, but also feeling these other feelings that he's not sure what it is. And anyway, it's very deep as well. Then we have Adam. Adam is a very smart student, on the emo side of nerdy. He deals with depression as well. So Caleb kind of feels that every now and then with Adam, but he's drawn to Adam. Later on, when he discovers his superpower, he learns how to set the feelings aside by colors. And Adam is a very calming shade of blue, I believe. Sometimes when he's depressed, it can be a darker shade of blue, if I'm remembering, or is it black? Anyway, Caleb is very drawn to Adam's color. He feels calm around Adam, so they start hanging out. They become friends. Adam is openly gay. Of course, they have some bullying, a little bit of bullying here in the high school setting, words that shouldn't be used. But I was really intrigued with Caleb's little ability, or his superpower as he calls it, and I adored Adam and felt for him, and his feelings towards Caleb. Caleb was feeling these feelings, but wasn't sure if they were his feelings or Adam's feelings. It was a really cute story of how they came together, and how Caleb discovered that he too, his own feelings were attractiveness to Adam, and just being around Adam made him feel better. So yeah, so that's kind of how the little story plays out. I think this is supposed to be a series, but I haven't seen a second book written by this author or come out. So it does kind of end with an ending. It's definitely, but I can definitely see where there's room for maybe possibly another book, or continuing the story. But yeah, it doesn't leave you hanging by any means. So yeah, if you were curious about this book, I liked it. YA, it was very cutesy. Like I said, I got a little bored in between, like just all the back and forth and the feelings that the guys were feeling and didn't know what they were feeling. I was just like, we know what you're feeling. Express them. It does describe Caleb on the back as an atypical, and he's born with enhanced abilities. That's how the back of the book describes Caleb. But yeah, I really fell in love with the two guys and who they were and how they became friends and more. Yeah, it was really cute. I liked it. All right, I'm gonna put a second coat on this finger here, and hopefully this second coat will come out a lot smoother and not so streaky. Yeah, there we go. A lot better. While this finger's drying, let's talk a little bit about Something Fabulous by Alexis Hall. This is in the Something Fabulous series. This is book number 1, so I guess we'll be getting more from this storyline. This was also a 3.5 star for me. It had its moments of fun and quirkiness. That's why I kind of gave it that 1/2 star, but the majority of the book was really frustrating. So we have what was his name? Valentine Layton. He is the Duke of Malvern. And then we have Miss Arabella Tarleton, and her twin brother, Mr. Bonaventure, aka Bonnie. Bonnie is an openly gay man in this historical male-male romance. But back to Valentine and Miss Arabella. They used to be very good friends when they were young, and their parents just assumed that they would marry in the end. It's what sort of like Valentine's father wanted. It's what Arabella's parents wanted. So Valentine felt like he had to fulfill that dream of his father, even though he was not really attracted to Arabella, and he didn't really know why. She was a beautiful woman, but not somebody that he considered marrying. He just knew that that was what he had to do. Miss Arabella, on the other hand, is a very, how do I want to explain her? She was annoying, for one. She basically kept running away from Valentine. He was trying to propose to her and offer his hand, save their estate or whatever, because I believe their parents left them without anything. Both their parents passed away. Valentine had the means to uphold their estate for them, so that's why he felt like he had to marry Arabella, and that's basically it. And the whole time we have Valentine and Bonnie, Arabella's twin brother, chasing after Arabella as she runs away from Valentine. It was like, well, once again, it was very annoying. I just wanted to tell her to slap her around and just say, stop, let the poor man explain himself, But during this journey, Valentine and Bonnie become closer. And Valentine realizes that he has feelings more towards Bonnie than he does towards Arabella. So he's sort of coming into his own. So I enjoyed that aspect of the story, and I really enjoyed Valentine and Bonnie together. But she and her running away and her annoyance just got in the way of the story, and that's just kind of, it just didn't really do it for me. But other than that, I really enjoyed Valentine and Bonnie together. So I don't know if we're gonna get maybe more of their story in a second book, but yeah, that's my feelings on Something Fabulous. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and now put the top coat on these nails. And the top coat that I'm gonna be using has really also been a game changer. So this is also Ella and Mila. This is called What the Gel. So this is like a gel top coat. So it's going to give sort of that gel finish and that gel hold for the nail polish. But what's been really making these nails hold their color and stay, like I wore these for a whole week and never had a chip. No, they started looking a little danky and dented up, from like hitting them. I had a little, few little marks on them, but no chips. But so every day I was putting a coat of damage control on top of the gel, and that's what really helped the polish stay intact for a week. And I didn't have any problem taking the polish off. Like it wasn't too thick. It came off fairly easily, didn't stain my nails. So yeah, so I've really been enjoying having fun colored nails that stay on. Nail polishes never stay on for me. That's why I've always done either gel or the dip, but in the end, those would always damage my nail. So I'm super excited that I discovered that there are nail care videos out there with people helping you learn how to keep up with your nails and nail polishes they recommend. I am like hooked, obsessed. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on a coat of this What the Gel. Okay, and there we have it. Finished nails. I'm gonna let these dry for a couple minutes. I'm so excited. I love having pretty nails. Anyway, hope y'all enjoyed this little bit different of a video as we talk about some of the books that I have read so far this month. I am currently, I did finish The Quarterback by Talbert today. I just finished it, and I am listening to Here's to Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera, and I am loving it. It is so adorable. I don't know if I'm almost loving it more than the first one, but I don't know. It's really cute. So yeah, that's what's currently happening, what I'm currently reading. I'll probably start reading something on my tablet tonight. Not sure what yet, so stay tuned for my second round, or my second wrap up for the month. That will probably be coming later on at the end of the month, or maybe at the beginning of next month, I don't know. But anyway, thank y'all so much for watching. Hope you're all doing well out there, staying safe. Hope y'all are enjoying your Pride Month. Happy Pride, and I'll see y'all very soon in a new video. Bye y'all.